Hello and welcome to Election Brief. Coming up in today's edition, the president may have offered tidbits of governing NDC's manifesto on transforming Ghana, but the opposition MPP is hot on his heels, criticizing the various promises he's been making. We'll bring you details. 12 people, including the president, pick up forms to officially contest the December 7 elections. We'll bring you details as well as mixed reactions to the raging debate about the EC's filing fees. And also in the program, the lengths politicians would go to secure votes. We'll tell you how one parliamentary candidate has resorted to renewing driver's licenses for her constituents. All these and more coming up in the next 20 minutes. Stay with us. Once again, welcome to the show. I'm Arba Kumsin. It's been barely 24 hours since President Mahama outlined key aspects of the governing NDC's manifesto, but already he's coming under attack from his main opponents who've been punching holes in the various promises he made yesterday. The NDC is scheduled to launch its manifesto on Saturday, September 17th at Sunyani in the Bono Ahafo region. But yesterday in Accra, the president took time to tease out some highlights of the manifesto. Among other things, he said his government will constitute a committee to advise on the creation of 5 more regions to bring the number to 15 in the country, and that he will make the position of MMDCs elective in his next term as president. Also, his administration plans to pilot the use of electronic textbooks and expand the progressive free SHS. Watch.
We will set up a commission of inquiry to look into the creation of new regions. We currently have 10 regions. We believe that it is possible to increase the number of regions to 15. And so we'll set up a commission of inquiry that will look at the viability of increasing the number of administrative regions in Ghana from 10 to 15. And so this commission will receive petitions, and based on those petitions, they'll look at whether creation of those regions is a viable option or not. And based on that recommendation, we will trigger the constitutional processes. Nkrumah era factories, and we'll check on their viability. Those that are viable, we will partner with the private sector to bring them back on stream. And one of those that we have identified is the Abosso glass factory. We have received interest to revive the Abosso glass factory because every piece of glass we use in Ghana is imported. Our window panes, our louver blades, our bottles, beer bottles, Guinness bottles, mineral bottles, they are all imported. And yet we can manufacture some of those things here. And so factories like the Abosso glass factory and others are going to be looked at and would be available for revamping. We will continue disbursing small loans under the MASLOC to different businesses. Like I said, we will expand the Youth Enterprise Support Program. We're going to expand the investments in the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority to achieve the following. 1, construction of more irrigation facilities to irrigate up to 5,000 hectares of land in the Savannah Belt. And the SADA has conducted feasibility studies, 1 on the Nasia Nabogo irrigation project. And under this project, 10,000 hectares of land will come under irrigation. If you take the Pualugu Basin project, another 11,000 hectares of land is available. Under the Bui Dam has a component for irrigation, which covers another 11,000 hectares of land. And then under the Sicily Coupon and Dakar Valley irrigation projects, there's another 30,000 hectares of land that we can bring under irrigation. If all these are achieved, it will provide 1, employment to all the young people in the Savannah zone. And apart from that, it will produce enough food to feed this country in terms of rice, maize, and all the cereals. And so we're going to work with SADA to achieve this. Already in this term of office, we have expanded. We currently have 29,000 hectares of land under irrigation. Several of the irrigation projects that were broken down and silted, we have revamped. Dawenya and so many of them, Via Tunnel, we've revamped them and brought those fields under irrigation again. We've cut the sod for new irrigation dams. When I went to Boku recently, I cut the sod for the Tamni irrigation dam, which is bringing almost another 2,000 hectares under irrigation. We're going to cut the sod for the Kamba irrigation dam, which is in the Upper West region, which we expect will bring more than 1,000 hectares under irrigation. And so we're taking advantage of irrigation. And I don't know about the one village, one dam concept.
So that's the president giving highlights of his party's manifesto in Accra yesterday. But already the opposition New Patriotic Party is accusing the president and the NDC of deceiving Ghanaians with the new promises. As you heard that the president was talking, giving highlights about the party's policies on agriculture. Director of Communications of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Kumia, addressing the media in Accra a while ago, said those promises should not be believed.
He said he will stimulate growth in agriculture and industry with a view to generating jobs. He will stimulate growth in agriculture and industry. Today, our agric growth rate is about 2% or 2.5%. When we have achieved agric growth rates in excess of 7%, and you say you are now coming to stimulate it. So when it was 7%, you are going to stimulate. It should go to 10%. Today, as we speak, it's just about 2.53% in agriculture. And the same for industry. As for industries, they are just the CD, doomsaw, they just dying. Even services, hotels, everything is collapsing. He also said he will accelerate infrastructure development. As for infrastructure, they are quite quick to point to you some projects they are doing. They will tell you they've brought Abrochiri to Ghana because of the Kwame Nkrumah interchange. They also said they've Kaswa interchange, the expansion of the Ridge Hospital, and so on and so forth. So they quickly will point. In fact, they've actually produced a big book called a Green Book, and they've put up things they said they have done. Many of them we don't know, but they said they've done them, no problem. But you see, what is the impact? When we didn't have all of this infrastructure that we are being told about, our economy was growing at 9.1%. We're growing at 9.1% in 2008. Was growing at over 14% in 2011. Since President Mahama took over and said he had done unprecedented infrastructure, the economy is going down.
Of course, the president also took time yesterday to talk about what his administration will be doing going forward to revamp the economy. But Director of MPP Communications, Nana Kumia, also had a thing to say about that. Listen.
In July 2012, he met with you at the conference center on September 18 and told you what he was going to do as the president of Ghana. Let's look at some of them. Now, he said that among the priorities that he was going to be engaged in was to consolidate our achievement in holding down inflation and maintaining macroeconomic stability. At that time he was speaking, inflation was single digit. Now he said he was going to hold it down. What is inflation today? 4.5 years down the line, inflation is more than 16%. More than 16%. So he failed. He said he was going to maintain macroeconomic stability. Where's the macroeconomic stability? Today we are the IMF to get policy credibility. After promising to maintain macro stability, he himself didn't have confidence in his own policies. So he had to go to the IMF for credibility. So complete failure. He also told us, or he told you when he met you, that he was going to maintain discipline in government expenditure so as to avoid unbudgeted expenditure that can distort the economy. He spoke in September. In December, he led this country to the biggest deficit in the Fourth Republic, when he had promised just 4 months earlier that he was going to maintain discipline in government expenditure. Talk about the cedi. At the time he was speaking, the cedi was 1 cedi 80 pesos to the dollar, and that he would maintain the value. Today, the cedi is almost 4 cedis to the dollar. At one point, it became the worst depreciated currency in the whole world under President Mahama's watch. He also said that he will effectively implement a single...
Now, it was only yesterday that the Electoral Commission opened nominations for persons wishing to contest the presidential and parliamentary polls on December 7th. It pegged the presidential fee at 50,000 and the parliamentary at 10,000 cedis, sparking protests from mainly the minority parties, which described the fees as exorbitant. But a day after it opened nominations, 12 people desiring to contest the presidency have picked up the forms, including President Mahama. Deputy Director of Electoral Services at the EC, David Amewo, has been giving us further details of those who have picked up forms.
The leader is Kofi Apalo. Then we have United Front Party, led by Nana but Jataba. The popular name is Jataba. Nana Ejenim Boatin. We have Ghana Freedom Party, led by Ekwadonko. We have United Progressive Party, led by Akwesi Ade, alias Odike. Then we have the All People's Congress, led by Ajariga. We have Great Consolidated Popular Party, led by Dr. Lati. Then we have United Development System Party, led by 1W Tete. Then we have National Democratic Congress, led by President Mahama. So that's for the political parties. For the independent candidates, we have one Lawrence Jamil Nkutia.
So that list contains 3 independent candidates. We'll see how that pans out. But Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Koko Anyudoho, who picked the form on behalf of the NDC's flag bearer, says the NDC is battle ready for the polls.
Without the consent of political parties. They only deal with political parties at the IPAC level to look at matters pertaining to elections and electoral processes. So if it's an administrative decision that has been taken, we have no option but to comply. But the truth of the matter is that per the processes, it's only filing fees that you pay. Once you attain a certain percentage of votes, the money is refunded either to the individual who's contesting parliamentary or to the individual that is contesting presidential. So once you have confidence in yourself that you will go past that percentage and get your filing fees back, I don't think it's a big problem. I mean, like I said, you don't want to allow IPAC to hijack the administrative duties of the Electoral Commission. It's a constitutional body. It's mandated by the Constitution to work. IPAC, in fact, the creation of IPAC is an administrative decision of the Electoral Commission. Now, there's no way we can allow an administrative body to now hijack the whole administrative setup of the Electoral Commission. But the day you allow political parties to begin to take administrative decisions for the Electoral Commission, you've messed up the whole electoral process, because political parties want to do things that will always inure to their benefit. So I think that it's important that we still allow the EC to have its administrative mandate to operate as an independent body. And then political parties will only operate under the umbrella of IPAC, where we can build consensus by way of join to push our electoral processes forward.
Okay.
Yeah, we are. We are very much so, very, very ready. That's why ever since the Electoral Commission put out its calendar, we have stuck to it, and we continue to work according to that register. I mean, some people think that it is their business to go out berating the Electoral Commission and not preparing adequately. We are very much prepared. So yes, the President gave highlights of the manifesto yesterday. Today I'm here as Deputy General Secretary to pick up the nomination forms for the President. Saturday we are in Sunyani to do the bigger outdooring of our manifesto. So a team will move around the region, make sure that we get all the endorsements that we need. And I'm sure at the appropriate time we shall present the presidential nomination forms back to the EC. And then we just pray for a peaceful election and pray that Ghana continues to remain united after the elections. Well, you realize that on Saturday it will be a much bigger event. The crowd is going to be massive. Yes, we intend to flesh it out more and give more specifics, but I'm sure it's more of a gathering of family to get excited that we are really ready for the elections.
So that's Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Koku Anyidoho there. From the NDC, let's move to the PNC. And the People's National Convention has unveiled its running mate today at a ceremony in Accra after a 5-member committee of the party settled on him over the past weekend. Comrade Emmanuel Anyidoho, who is a trained economist, was selected by the party to partner flag bearer Dr. Edward Mahama for the December polls. Well, today, Dr. Mahama has been full of praise for his new running mate as he was outdoored, even saying that Mr. Anyidoho is as humble as Jesus Christ. Watch.
We in PNC have decided that we're going to pick somebody who will help us solve the 2 or 3 most critical problems facing Ghana. The economy of Ghana is in shambles. Factories have closed, people are unemployed. So economy is number 1. Youth unemployment, number 2. And power, which led to the economy collapsing, number 3. The next person or vice president of Ghana is an expert in all these areas. So I have always told Ghanaians that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Nana Akufo-Addo, Edward Nasegre Mahama, we are seeking for a job from you Ghanaians. This is a job interview. So listen carefully to what we are promising. And those who have promised and didn't deliver, ask them what happened, they didn't deliver. So because we are looking for a job, I am always telling Ghanaian voters that I'm going to be your servant. And I'm sure another reason why I chose the gentleman that I'm choosing is because I've known him over 10 years. And he has the humility of Jesus Christ. Leadership without humility is no leadership at all.
So that is a flag bearer of the People's National Convention, Dr. Edward Mahama there. Well, his running mate, Mr. Anyidoho, has also been speaking. We can listen to him.
We in PNC have decided that
without the consent of
the new Ghana is visioned on the 3 pillars of a new beginning, New Deal, and New Force. These 3 pillars are enshrined in our party's manifesto. A new beginning is towards public sector reform with uncompromised efficiency. A new deal is to provide substantial support to upscale productivity in key sectors such as agriculture and industry and the services, while the new force is to harness the great untapped potential of our energetic youth of between 18 and 35 years to drive the wheels of national development. And so
So that's a running mate to the PNC, Mr. Emmanuel Anyidaho there. Now, Galamsey is a menace that successive governments have had a hard time trying to deal with. Its impact is devastating, and many governments have expressed worry about the phenomenon. Well, now the flag bearer of the Progressive People's Party is promising what he believes would resolve the problem, the panacea, driving out foreign nationals engaged in Galamsey and petty trading, who he says are breaking the country's rules. The PPP flag bearer was campaigning in the Cape Coast South constituency. We can get details from correspondent Richard Kojonyako, who joins us on the line. Richard, that appears to be a very hard-line stance coming from the PPP flag bearer. Did he explain why he would drive them out?
Well, he says Ghana is endured with a lot of things that should have been very easy for the ordinary individual in the country to have a decent life, but it's rather the reverse. And he claims the foreigners have been allowed to take the country's gold and other minerals away, making the country's citizens as beggars in their own land. And he intimates that after taking the huge chunk of the minerals away, the surpluses that are left for the indigenes to have their hands on to improve their own lives have also been left with the Chinese. And so that is what they have been feasting on. By so doing, they've been destroying the country's rivers and water bodies, and the DCs and other government appointees are there watching, and some of them do connive with them, and they are destroying virtually everything. And he says that has culminated in the unemployment situation that we have in the country. Apart from the Galamsey, he says that our territorial waters have also been taken away by foreign trawlers, and he also mocks how the Elmina fish processing factory is going to run, because all the fish have been taken away by these things. So let's take a listen.
Watching him gold in the SSO to my home. No one was a call, no problem. I feel gold and Katina Wakana. Ghana for was a small scale miners. I feel ever call Chinese in Wapo plane, Waba Ghana main. Honestly, or a Galamsey, or say Yakoko efu, or say Nebro efu, or say Yan in Su. Ghana penyin ni mambia na se penyin wo ma be America chiro what to abama ko me kayo man penyin awu biara ayo hoho na area Galamsey wo Ghana main awara to America na kwansa na mama ono no eboko
Now, let's stay in the central region, because one politician there has taken campaigning to a whole new level to secure votes. I'm talking about the MP for Agona East constituency, Queen Star Pokua Sawyer, who is contesting on the ticket of the NDC to be re-elected. She has resorted to renewing driver's licenses for her constituents. In fact, her target, according to media reports, is 500 licenses today. Well, Richard Kojonyako, correspondent in the Central Region, still joins us on the line. Richard, some would say she is being innovative, but who exactly are her targets?
Well, her targets are the drivers, especially the trotro and the taxi drivers. She says that a lot of them have got expired licenses, and as a way of helping, because already she's been helping in all endeavors in the Agona East constituency, and so it is not out of place for her to help these drivers. And they said that the renewal of the licenses has come or comes with a cost, and so she has taken it upon herself to help them renew. And so her target is 500 of these drivers, and today she started with that one. A lot of the drivers were here in their numbers to take part in the exercise to get their licenses renewed. And she says that she is incumbent, and she's not only doing it for political reasons, but to help these people, these drivers, to start what they are doing with. And so that is basically the reason or the rationale behind what she does. She did this morning.
All right, many thanks. Central Regional Correspondent Richard Kojonyako there. And that's our show for today. If you didn't catch the live broadcast, you can go on YouTube to catch the recorded version. I'm Arba Kumsin. Join us same time tomorrow. Francis Aben comes up with the Pulse Next.